Your carry-on bag is costing you more than you think. And I'm not just talking about the price tag. I'm talking about the fancy spinner wheels that get torn clean off. I'm talking about that zipper that blows wide open in the security line right as you're approaching the TSA agent. That bag that you thought was a smart buy could turn into a luggage store errand on day one of your vacation. Don't let it. What if one decision made once put all that behind you for the next 30 years? Today, we're going to show you how to make the smart choice and show you the one warranty fine print detail that could cost you hundreds of dollars if you miss it. Want to know which bag I'd buy in 2026? Then stick around. Now, before we get into the scorecard, I want to introduce the bag that started all of this, because it's not one of the three that we're scoring today. I mean, it will be just as comparison, but it's much older than these. And honestly, in some ways, it's still better than even some of them. This is the Victorinox Mobilizer NXT 3.0. It's mine. I bought it in the late 1990s. It's been to dozens of countries. It's been through hundreds of thousands of miles of checked baggage, overhead bins, and hotel room floors, and it's never once shown any signs of giving up. The zipper pulls are still tight. The telescoping handle still locks clean. The fabric, 1680 denier ballistic nylon, it's the same thread density used in military grade gear. And it looks almost exactly the way it did the day I unpacked it way back in those late 1990s. Now, the Victorinox isn't a competitor today. It's going to be kind of our legacy standard. Every score we hand out, every category we judge, gets measured against what that bag established some 30 years ago. The real question is, which modern bag comes closest to that standard and improves on it where my old bag falls short? We've got three serious contenders that we're going to look at today, and each of these are among the top-selling bags of 2025, and each of them is a two-wheel rollaboard. Why? Because that was the fastest growing segment of the carry-on bag business last year. Yeah, surprisingly, plus 12% year over year. And they offer benefits that four-wheeled spinners just can't touch. Now let's meet the contenders. First up is the Delsey Paris Helium DLX, the smart value option for the traveler who wants the two-wheel advantage without the premium price tag. Next up is the Travel Pro Platinum Elite, the bag airline crews have quietly trusted for decades. And rounding out the competition is the Briggs & Riley Baseline, the closest thing to a no questions asked guarantee in the luggage business. We're going to look at 5 categories, 10 points each, 50 points possible, and all the totals are going to stay hidden until the very end, where I'm going to reveal which bag I'd buy if I were going to go looking for a replacement for old red. Let's look at durability first. And before we dive into the fabric discussion, let's touch on why we're not looking at any four-wheel spinners in this episode. Durability is so important when you're traveling a lot. I can tell you firsthand that while those four-wheel spinners glide gracefully around the airport terminals, they can become a real liability when faced with the rigors of modern-day baggage handling. I once spent $300 on a brand new spinner bag, and on my third trip, one of the wheels was ripped off, leaving a gaping hole in my bag when I was hundreds of miles away from home. Never again for me. And that's why we're only looking at two-wheelers today. All right, let's get back to the durability of the fabric now. And the number that matters the most here is 1680, as in 1680 denier ballistic nylon. Denier is just a measure of how tightly woven a fabric is. In standard luggage, fabric runs somewhere between 400 to 600 denier. Military kit bags go 1,000 and above. Now, 1680 is essentially like the ceiling for a practical soft-sided travel bag, and that's where my old Victorinox was built from. Today, that's where we're setting the bar. My old bag is 1680 denier through and through with reinforced corners. The stress points have never loosened, and 30 years of hard use has done essentially nothing to the shell. That's what this material is capable of when it's really used correctly. And it's the standard every bag in this group is being measured against today. The Delsey Paris Helium DLX uses Delsey's own Duratec polyester. And look, it's a capable fabric. It's well constructed, the zippers are solid, and for someone flying a few times a year, it'll hold up just fine. But Duratec polyester isn't ballistic nylon. The gap between them isn't huge in year one, but it starts to open up over time, especially if your bags go into cargo holds regularly. I mean, the Delsey earns an honest score for an honest bag, but it's kind of behind the legacy standard, in my opinion, on raw material quality. So I'm going to give it a 6. The Travel Pro Platinum Elite matches my old bag exactly on fabric. It's the same 1680 denier ballistic nylon. It's got reinforced stress points at the corners and handle attachments, and a zipper system with oversized pull tabs built to survive repeated handling. I've handled this bag myself, and I've watched countless flight crew members wheel them through terminals for years. It just feels solid. The Briggs & Riley Baseline also runs 1680 denier ballistic nylon, and it adds a co-molded frame, meaning the structural components are bonded together rather than assembled with rivets or screws, which eliminates a whole category of failure points over a long enough timeline. The hardware is heavier and more refined than Travel Pro's. This bag was clearly designed with the assumption that it would be in active use for about 20 or 30 years. And under Briggs & Riley's warranty, it will be. More on that later though. This bag earns a perfect 10 for durability. So where does that leave us in category 1? Starting with my old Victorinox, while I'm biased, I'd give it a 10 here. It's hard to argue with a bag that's still going strong after 3 decades. It's earned every point year after year. Here's how it stacks up against the rest of the field though. Okay, this is the category where my old Victorinox really starts to show its age. And honestly, it's the whole reason we're having this conversation today. 10 pounds, almost 10 pounds, empty before even a single shirt, before a toiletry kit, before a laptop, before anything is put into it. Almost 10 pounds, yeah. On a domestic carrier running a carry-on weight limit of 15 pounds, which more and more airlines are going to be enforcing in 2026 and beyond, my old bag eats up 2/3 of that allowance just before even packing a single thing. That's the tax you're paying for 30 years of bulletproof construction. You know, I love that bag, but that's the number one reason that we're here. And this baby would score about a 3 out of 10. The Delsey Paris Helium DLX comes in at 7.1 pounds. It's the lightest in the group by a solid margin. And if you're on a tight weight limit and every ounce counts, well, that number is extremely useful. And since the Delsey is also a 2-wheel rollaboard, it gets that weight advantage without giving up the interior volume benefits that, we'll talk about in the next category. The Delsey, in my books, is getting a perfect 10. The Travel Pro Platinum Elite weighs 7.7 pounds. And here's what makes that number impressive. It's the same 1680 denier ballistic nylon as my 10-pound Victorinox. Same base fabric, same tier of construction, and Travel Pro's engineers got almost 3 full pounds out of it through smarter frame geometry and decades of refinement. That's not a small achievement. That's the whole ball game, honestly. And for it, the Travel Pro gets an outstanding score of 9. The Briggs & Riley baseline comes in at about 9.7 to 10 pounds, somewhere in that range. Same weight class as my old Victorinox, and for the same reason. The co-molded frame and the CX compression hardware are heavy because they're built to last. This may not be a problem on a 22-pound international allowance, but it really starts to pinch in on those stricter domestic routes. And all this impressive engineering pulls the Briggs & Riley down to a 5 in the weight category. All right, let's take a look at how the lineup compares in the weight category. Now, real quick before we get into packing volume, if this is the kind of breakdown that's useful to you, please hit like and subscribe. This channel's built for people who want the actual reasoning behind a recommendation and not just a rank list with no explanations, no filler, just good old-fashioned elevated travel information for grown-ups. Come on along. This one surprised me when I really dug into it, and it's probably the most underappreciated advantage of the 2-wheel rollaboard format. Here's the thing. Spinner bags have 4 wheels mounted in the housings that stick out from the exterior corners of the frame, but those housings push inward into the bag's usable interior space, which means a spinner and a 2-wheeler with the exact same external dimensions will have meaningfully different packing capacity, with the 2-wheeler running about maybe 10 to 15% more usable volume. On a carry-on where every cubic inch matters, that difference could be a shirt, maybe a pair of shoes, or even a full toiletry kit. Now, I'm going to be honest. I've never thought about this until I started comparing these bags side to side. I just assumed that a bigger bag meant more space. But the geometry of where the wheels live changes everything. It's one of those things you can't unsee, and it seems obvious once you do see it. And now, since all of these 4 bags in today's group are 2-wheel rollaboards, they all benefit from this similar geometry. The differences we're scoring here come down to overall dimensions and internal design. My old Victorinox runs about 42 liters. That's solid for its era, but the interior layout is fairly Spartan. There's no dedicated laptop sleeve. It's just a clean main compartment with a front pocket. It gets the job done, but modern bags will have clearly moved the needle in this area. We're going to give it a 5. The Delsey Paris Helium DLX comes in at approximately 45 liters with an expansion feature that can push that number slightly higher when you need it. It's good volume for the price point, and the interior organization is clean and practical. The Delsey earns a 7 here, which is really good. It's good for the price. The Travel Pro Platinum Elite, when fully expanded, leads the field at approximately 52 liters. That's a direct result of its taller 23-inch profile, expansion zippers, and optimized interior layout. It also carries a dedicated external laptop sleeve that doesn't eat into the main compartment at all. That sleeve alone is a feature my old bag never had, and once you've used it, you're not going to want to go back. The Travel Pro scores a 10 here, leading the way in the category. The Briggs & Riley baseline runs about 39 liters in the standard configuration, solid, but it is behind the Travel Pro. Their innovative CX expansion system, though, that lets you push that number to a whopping 51 liters for longer trips. It's a really useful feature when you need it. And I'm giving the Briggs & Riley a 9 here, just being edged out by the Travel Pro. All right, here's how they stack up in volume. All right, let's crack open the old Latitude ledger for this one because this entry is marked in red ink and there's a specific reason for that. Luggage warranties are one of those things that almost everybody ignores until the exact moment that they need it. And by then it's sometimes just too late. The fine print is where the real policy lives. And in one case on this scorecard, there's a deadline buried in there that most buyers will never even notice. We'll get to that in a second. My old Victorinox came in with a limited warranty that was fairly standard for the era. It covered manufacturing defects and just for a defined period. No airline damage protection, no unconditional coverage. The bag has simply never needed a warranty claim, which says everything about the construction and very little about the policy itself. I'd give the warranty itself a 4. The bag outperformed the paper that it came with. Next up, the Delsey Paris Helium DLX carries a limited warranty covering manufacturing defects. No airline damage protections. It's a fair policy for the price point, but it's the lightest coverage in this group, and I'm going to give it a 5 because it's both honest and appropriate for what you're paying. Now, the Travel Pro Platinum Elite. Travel Pro, they offer what they call a worry-free coverage plan. And when it's fully activated, it's genuinely pretty strong. It covers defects, hardware failure, and airline damage. All good stuff. But here's the thing almost nobody catches. The airline damage coverage is not automatic. You have to register the bag within 120 days of purchase to unlock it. Not within a year, not eventually, 120 days. If you buy the bag today, throw it in the closet, fly with it twice, and then forget about the registration, well, then when you see a baggage handler destroy one of the wheels on your bag on day 122, coverage is gone. And that's a real life scenario. Look, this isn't some sneaky trap. It's in the documentation, but documentation isn't always what we read, and register within 120 days is exactly the kind of task that ends up in the same mental pile as scheduling a dentist appointment. The fix is simple. When your bag arrives, before you even pack it for the first time, just go register it. 30 seconds and you're done. You're covered. I didn't just want you to find that out, the hard way. And for that reason, I am scoring the Travel Pro a strong 8. The Briggs & Riley baseline carries what they call their simple as that guarantee. And honestly, the name is accurate. Unconditional. Covers manufacturing defects, hardware failure, zipper failure, and even airline damage. No registration required, no exclusion list, no expiration dates. If the bag gets damaged, B&R fixes it or replaces it. That's the whole policy. Amazing. This bag gets a perfect 10 in the ledger. Now let's check and see how the warranty scores stack up. All right, the last category, and this is where value really comes into focus. We've been scoring bags on what they're built from and how much they weigh, how much they hold, and how well the manufacturer stands behind them. Price is the final filter though, and it's the one that really kind of pulls everything into context. Now, my old Victorinox, that cost me roughly $299 back in the day in the late 1990s. And if you run that through an inflation calculator, you're looking at it somewhere around, $570 in today's dollars, which for a bag that's still going strong nearly 30 years later, well, that makes the cost per year math almost embarrassingly good. It's going to get a 9 from me here, with the only caveat being that you simply can't buy a new one anymore. Sorry. The Delsey Paris Helium DLX comes in at around $180. This is the most accessible price point in this group by a wide margin. And for a well-built 2-wheel rollaboard with solid volume and a clean design, that's a strong value proposition, especially for the traveler who flies a few times a year and wants to get into this category without a significant upfront commitment. We've got to give the Delsey a 10 here. The Travel Pro Platinum Elite runs about $330. And when you consider that it matches the legacy standard on construction material, it sheds 3 pounds off that standard and leads the field in packing volume. $330 is a number that holds up well against what you're getting. Run that cost per year math on a 15-year useful life, and you're looking at roughly $22 a year. That's quite a bargain. And for that, we're going to give it a score of an 8. The Briggs & Riley baseline is priced at $699, and that's a significant number, and it does reflect the level of engineering. It also reflects the unconditional lifetime warranty and the expectation that this bag will simply never need to be replaced. And for the right traveler, flying frequently, prioritizing longevity over all else, that price is entirely defensible. The question, as always, is whether it's the right fit for you and where you are right now. And while you're getting a lot, you're also paying a lot. For that reason, we're going to give the Briggs & Riley baseline a solid 6 in this category. And here's how they all stack up in the price category. All right, 5 categories. Every score is on the board, and now it's time to open up the books. And now for the winner. And that bag that I would buy if I were in the market today for a new 2-wheel rollaboard in 2026 with a score of 44 out of 50, it's the Travel Pro Platinum Elite. And here's what I genuinely find interesting about that note. The Travel Pro didn't win by dominating any single category. It won because it never really lost one. A 9 in durability, a 9 in weight, a 10 in volume, and an 8 in warranty. An 8 in price. That kind of consistency across the board is actually harder to engineer than a perfect score in one area and a weak score somewhere else. The Briggs & Riley edged out the Delcia on total points. And if your primary criteria is never having to think about this decision again, well, the Briggs & Riley's unconditional lifetime warranty makes a very strong case at that price point. Look, the Delcia, on the other hand, is a genuinely smart choice for the traveler who wants to get into the two-wheel category at an accessible price point without compromising on any of the fundamentals. But if you're flying 4 to 6 times a year, you care about your gear and you want to make this decision once and be done with it for the next decade. The Travel Pro Platinum Elite is the answer. The same construction DNA as my old Victorinox, but 3 pounds lighter and more packing volume than anything else in this field, and at a price that holds up to scrutiny over a realistic, useful life. Look, I'm going to put the links for all of the bags down in the description below. Now here's a quick tip before we wrap up. Get yourself a digital luggage scale and use it the night before you fly. Look, carry-on weight limits are not standardized. 15 pounds in some regional carriers, up to 22 on major internationals. Now that gap could defeat your entire packing strategy depending on which airlines you're choosing. 30 seconds on a scale the night before your trip beats 10 minutes of frantic repacking at the gate. The one that I use is the Pack-All digital luggage scale. It's compact, it's accurate to 1/10 of a pound, and small enough to fit in your toiletry kit permanently. I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, today we talked about choosing the right gear, but great travel isn't just about how you pack. It's about where you're going too, and how you get there without leaving money on the table or leaving your trip to chance. Over the next couple of episodes, we're going to be building the picture on all of that. And the destination we're building toward, well, let's just say it's a city that most Americans treat as a layover. And that's a magnificent mistake. Click on this episode right over here to see the whole Better Latitude method come together with an amazing destination that you're not going to want to miss out on. And that, my friends, is Better Latitude. We'll see you over there.